This is Twit.
So today, let's talk about something near and dear to your ear.
Yes, indeed. I'm a champion of hearing protection and hearing conservation, and so is the World Health Organization, who tomorrow they've designated tomorrow as World Hearing Day. Now, this is a yearly thing. It's been going on for a while, and it happens to be tomorrow. And they are concerned, as I am, about hearing loss, particularly preventable hearing loss. Now, you can get hearing loss from a variety of reasons, including advancing age, certain medications. There are lots of reasons why you can get hearing loss, but I think the majority of hearing loss is preventable and is caused by people being exposed to sounds, music mostly, that's too loud.
I actually did it to myself.
Yeah? How's that?
Well, when I was a young person, and I think young people do this, I loved loud music, especially rock and roll. And the louder the better. I would sit as close as I could to the speakers. I would go to very, very loud concerts. And I remember at the end of the concert, my ears would be ringing and I wouldn't hear well for a day or two. And what I didn't know as a kid is that kind of exposure over time will degrade your hearing. Plus,
in later years. Years later. That's the really insidious part about it.
It's like smoking, you know?
Yes, exactly. Same sort of thing. Well, what you experience there in terms of loss of hearing for a day or two is called temporary threshold shift, or TTS. And over time, that becomes permanent.
I wear ear protection when I go to concerts now, and I don't listen too loud. And even though I wear headphones, I'm careful to keep those levels low, but the damage is done.
Yes, the damage, I'm afraid, is already done. For me, it was sitting in big bands, and I'm a trombone player, and so I was sitting in the big band.
Oh, but what fun. It was worth it.
It was worth it. It was so much fun, and yet the trumpets are directly behind the trombones, and so they're blasting into my ears.
Yeah.
At the time, you know, I thought, oh, this is great. What fun. Well, I'm not thinking that now. That caused some problems.
Us oldsters, we're always saying two things to young people: protect your knees and wear earplugs.
Yeah, and youngsters don't get
listen.
it. They think they're immortal and indestructible.
I don't go to a concert without earplugs these days, and I have to say it does reduce the quality. It's hard to find an earplug that doesn't make it sound muddy.
Well, you can spend a lot of money and get there by getting custom molded earplugs with flat filters.
I wear those on TV, actually, and they're very expensive. These were $1,500 from JH Audio.
Well, that sounds like more like hearing aids or hearing active.
No, they're not active. They're passive.
Really?
Yeah, he's the guy who created Ultimate Ears, which of course every musician in the world, you'll see these. You know, Bono. But even then, you watch U2, and they're playing, and Bono will rip them out of his ears so he can hear the crowd. Yeah. And when you buy these, they're very expensive. You can get less expensive versions, but I have them, multiple drivers because I want the best quality sound. And when you buy these, you get to choose between ported, so you can hear the world around you, and sealed. And of course, if you're a rock star, you want them sealed. You don't want to hear the noise around you, or a big band artist. Right. But these would be good protection if you got the ported versions that let sound in for going to a rock concert, I would guess, huh?
Well, no, ported. And what you're talking about there are like ear buds or earphones.
Yeah, these are in-ear monitors, i.e.
monitors, right? I'm just talking about just protection, just plugs, passive.
Because I want to get some because I'm not happy with the results I'm getting from.
Well, then you want to get. You can go. I think Ultimate Ears does it. I know Westone does.
Okay, I'll go. JH Audio, he left. Jerry Harvey, who created Ultimate Ears, left when it was sold and went and started his own thing, JH Audio. And I know he also sells those. So those would be high quality, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And those are, if you get just not earphones, but just passive plugs, they're like a couple $100.
Remember in A Star Is Born, Bradley Cooper's character, his manager kept saying, "You got to wear the in-ear monitors. You got to wear them. You're losing your hearing. And nothing worse for a musician than Well, just ask Beethoven than not being able to hear.
Exactly.
Worse, I have something called tinnitus, which is a constant ringing. It's the same ringing I heard at those big rock concerts for a day or two.
There all the time.
Now it's always there.
Yep.
I hear it right now. And
that's right.
It could drive you crazy, or you just learn to tune it out.
And sometimes it does.
Yeah.
William
Shatner no fix for it.
There is no fix for it.
Yep.
No, that's correct.
Yep.
I want to mention one thing real quick here. A company called Puro Sound Labs, P-U-R-O, is offering a pair of wireless Bluetooth active noise canceling headphones for kids that limits the sound pressure level that they produce to 85 decibels, which is the OSHA standard for safe hearing levels over a period of 8 hours.
We're really worried these days because many kids, little kids, are wearing headphones with their iPads and their smartphones, and this is going to be a real problem if they're not careful. Etymotics, which is my favorite in-ear monitor company, they make consumer in-ear monitors, also has Etymotics Kids, same limiter built in. They're less expensive, highly recommend Puro or Etymotics. Protect your kids' hearing.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I remember going to a concert once, pretty loud concert, and young parents brought their kid, and they had
big headphones,
big industrial hearing protection over their kids' ears. And I thought, yes,
good. I love it when I see that. Frequently, I see the opposite, and I feel so bad for those kids.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, protect your hearing out there, everybody. Tomorrow is World Hearing Day. Be careful.
Very good message. Scott Wilkinson, he's our home theater geek. We'll go back to the phones. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, right after this. Yeah, my tinnitus got even worse. Not so many, just a couple of years ago, I went to a band down here at the Mystic Theater. It was a Led Zeppelin tribute band.
Oh man!
And I went in. I was pretty close because it's a small theater, and something happened, and they just really and it was just in my right ear, right speaker, and boom, it hit me, and it was really painful.
There was some glitch in the sound system.
I don't know. Really... I think they just were really loud. I immediately went and ran out, but put in earplugs. But ever since, this ear now rings even louder. So
ooh. Well, it is possible to get a traumatic injury such as that.
Yeah.
That suddenly does things. Normally, hearing damage is cumulative over time, and that's what makes it so insidious.
Yeah.
That we were talking about.
Yeah.
A few years ago at CES, Harman sponsored a concert which featured Kiss. And I took my sound level meter in there and I measured it, and during each song they were averaging like 120 decibels.
Yeah, that's normal. I don't go to any concert without hearing without earplugs these days. And sometimes it's loudness times time, right?
That's correct.
So sometimes I'll take them out, listen to one song, put them back in, just so I can hear what it sounds like.
Yeah. I do that with movies sometimes. I wear hearing protection at movies because, well, movies are supposed to be at an average of 85, as I mentioned earlier, over the course of the movie. And most movies I measure are. But I believe that 85 is actually too high.
Oh,
that OSHA was too generous when they established that limit or that effective limit for an 8-hour workday, really, is what they were concerned with. And so if you average 85 dB over 8 hours, 85 dB is loud.
Yeah.
I mean, it really feels loud. And I think that, in fact, is damaging over 8 hours. I think OSHA should have set the limit lower, and they didn't. But
it's too bad.
That was it.
It's too bad. Yeah, I don't wear earplugs to the movie theater, but we always go to the same theater, and I think they've been pretty good. Black Panther was pretty loud.
It was pretty loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might start having to wear earphones there, earplugs.
You don't. Unfortunately, earplugs, even the expensive, fancy ones, decrease the amount of directionality or the sense of directionality.
Yeah.
So the Atmos and surround sound is less effective when you're wearing earplugs. I do know that.
Just another argument for staying home with your nice Atmos
where you
surround.
can control. Yes, where you can control.
Yeah.
The volume.
And I will turn up the sub, just because then you get a sense of loudness without hurting your ears.
Sure. Plus the fact that I've talked to my ENT about this, ear, nose, throat doctor, and what the ear is so much less sensitive to very low frequencies that you can crank it up without damage. So that there's nothing wrong with that.